Let's head to the phones. And Paul, you're on KFYO. Hello, Paul.
Chad, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
Just fine. Chad, just had a brief comment, I guess. I know President Obama not too long ago marked the passing of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. The annual, I guess the 1 year anniversary, if you will, of his passing.
Yes.
And, to me, he's probably, Michael Brown would not be somebody I thought would really need that kind of anniversary. I don't think he was a very upstanding person, but I did note that, I did want to note that Darrell Pearson, who was a police officer with the Rochester Police Department, I think he was an 8-year veteran. His passing, he was killed a year ago today while on duty in Rochester, New York, trying to arrest a parole violator. He was shot to death. I think he was an 8-year veteran. He was also a member of had been a member of the National Guard. And in my opinion, he left a wife and 2 children. In my opinion, he was a true hero. And this is the kind of man that we need to mark the passing of. Yeah,
I doubt you'll hear anything from the White House about that today.
No, I don't think we will, but I thought, that's the kind of man, if you're going to mark the passing of someone, a person that served our country, a person that was a emergency responder and was killed in the line of duty trying to protect and serve, that's the kind of man that you want to mark the passing of. And that's all I've got to say. I just thought it was sad that we got the wrong kind of heroes we're marking the passing of.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Absolutely. Paul, thank you very much.
Y'all have a great day, guy.
Since when did we commemorate the anniversary of a thug's death? But it is an important day when Michael Brown was shot. Because that's what started or really gave fuel to this anti-cop, Black Lives Matter movement. And it is a movement. It's a movement to, it seems, this is just what I take away from it, to do away with police. And for police to go a little bit easier on everybody. The death of the thug Mike Brown, it gave rise to this myth that was spread by the media that police officers going around shooting black people for fun. And that it's an epidemic. Now, still, more black people die at the hands of black men than at the hands of police officers. But you don't hear Black Lives Matter talking about that. You don't see them marching in Chicago or Detroit. And I know I brought this up, but you don't see any of that. Instead, it's all about this supposed epidemic of police violence that is out there. As a society, we have lost our minds so much that we care about an illegal alien who almost killed a Lubbock police officer. We care about him so much that we're mad that he got kicked in the face. And there are people rallying behind him and his family to sue Lubbock, Texas for $1 million and to make this a federal crime. There's a story on Fox News today about this Abilene police officer. And not much has come out about this. If you're paying attention to the national press, you really haven't seen a lot of news about this police officer in Abilene. Well, I guess his home in Clyde. But he was an Abilene police officer, Don Allen, who was murdered. And the headline on this Fox News story, off-duty cop bound, gagged, and tortured in his own home. Story on Fox News, Texas law enforcement sources say that the crime scene of off-duty Abilene, Texas police officer Don Allen's murder included anti-cop slurs written in the officer's own blood. Allen, 27 years old, was found dead in his Clyde home Monday in what investigators are calling a homicide. WFAA reported that he was the only person in the residence when he was found dead by family members. Clyde police called the Texas Rangers and the FBI to investigate due to the circumstances surrounding the death. Police claimed Tuesday that it did not appear Allen was targeted just because he was a police officer. However, sources at least told this the author of this story, John Cardillo, that the officer was bound, gagged, and tortured, and that anti-police slurs were written in this officer's blood. And so you just very, very sad. I hope that, I hope we're not getting to the point where the news media is just going to cover this stuff, and not cover it completely, to where they just say, yeah, another officer was shot. I mean, still to this day, there are 3 people loose in Illinois who shot and killed a police officer. And, we've had the TVs on in the studio. I have not really seen anything in the news media about that. I've seen plenty about Tom Brady. A lot of news about Tom Brady today, which is fine. Big news story. Big news story. I've seen also plenty of coverage about Reince Priebus getting on a plane and heading to meet with Donald Trump. But I still have not seen much about those people who are on the loose after killing a police officer. And we are seeing too many of these stories. You could almost say that the death of Mike Brown, the gentle giant, the thug, marked the day where many in this nation decided to declare war on the police. And every time now I hear the administration or the Justice Department come out and say, oh, we're shaken. Oh, we're heartbroken. I don't buy it. This administration, this Justice Department, helped spread this myth, this lie, that there's an epidemic of police officers going around and shooting black people. It is false. The Black Lives Matter movement is a terrible movement. It is a movement to try and get policing out of their neighborhoods. And many of those who are marching with the Black Lives Matter movement, you didn't see this with the Tea Party. You see it with Black Lives Matter. You never once saw anyone in the Tea Party marching and going, we need to kill some cops. You never heard that. Black Lives Matter, you hear it all the time. And you don't hear anyone with the Black Lives Matter movement, senior leadership, whatever it may be, George, Soros, whoever. You don't hear anyone condemning it. Very scary time to be a police officer, in my opinion. I have a story. I'll try to get into a little bit of it, but it might be one that I just saved for tomorrow. That police departments around the country are noticing they're not getting as many recruits anymore. That those who were once thinking about becoming police officers, they're looking at it going, no, don't think so. That they would still love to become a police officer, but they know right now, sadly, they have a target on their back if they are wearing a uniform. Or if it comes out that they're an officer. I have to wonder. In cities like Lubbock, where one of the privileges, I guess you could say, or one of the selling points of becoming a police officer is you get to take your patrol car home. Will we get to the point, and I hope we don't, but will we get to the point where that's a bad thing? You don't want your neighbors knowing you're a police officer. You don't want some stranger driving down the street and seeing your patrol car outside of your home. You don't want that. I mean, are we going to get to that point? I hope not. But it's something now, it would not surprise me if there are officers who are looking at it going, why would I want that? Why would I want the car in front of my house? What if my home's targeted? I mean, look, Black Lives Matter, that movement did burn down gas stations. Did set fire to, CVS, Walgreens, one of those places? Would we really be shocked if we opened up newspaper or turned on TV one day and we see an officer's home was targeted because their patrol vehicle was outside? Scary times. 770-5790, toll-free 1-800-687-0790. And unfortunately, these are things that officers now have to think about.